talking about limericks today. Right off the bat, does anybody know what a limerick is? Does anybody think they can sum up what a limerick is? No? Okay. Dr. Desutter, there's a sheet for you. Limericks originated sometime well, we have them first written sometime in the early 18th century, but they weren't popularized until the late 19th century. They were popularized by a man named Edward Reed, who wrote a book of very bawdy drinking songs and dirty jokes. Limericks are so easy and fun because they have a simple rhyme scheme, they're easy to memorize and easy to write. If you look on your sheet, you'll see 3 limericks. One of them is a traditional one, and 2 others that I wrote myself. But the first one is a very traditional and classic limerick. There once was a man from Nantucket who kept all of his cash in a bucket, but his daughter named Nan ran away with the man. And as for the bucket, Nantucket. Pretty funny. Okay, so let's go over the scheme very quickly, how limericks are used. First off, if you remember Jack's talk about rhyme schemes, you might pick up that it's an A, B, A rhyme scheme. That is, these first 2 lines will rhyme, they won't rhyme again until the last line, and then these 2 will rhyme together. So it's very easy to memorize, very easy to write. They have a meter. They work on a trimeter. There are 2 ways that you can do the trimeter. You have an anapestic trimeter. Anapest is stressed, unstressed, unstressed, stressed. So if we were going to kind of put that into phonetics, it would be ta, tum. For example, we're going to write an anapestic trimeter sentence. Trimeter meaning if there are 3 syllables to a meter, or 3 meters in the line, that will put you at around 8 to 10 syllables. I must finish my journey. See how I emphasize the stresses here? I must finish my journey alone. It's unstressed, unstressed, stressed. So that's the anapestic, and then there's also amphibrachia. Amphibrachia is ta, tum, ta, which is, as you can see in that first one, there once was a man from Nantucket. That's amphibrachia. So, does anybody have any questions right now about limericks? No? Okay, so lines 1, 2, and 5 all run on 3 feet of 3 syllables apiece, around 8 to 10 syllables per line. They all rhyme together. Lines 3 and 4 are shorter lines. They run on 2 trimetric anapest or amphibrachs. And they only have about 5 to 7 syllables per line. So, with that in mind, I thought that together we could write a limerick. And I know that's a little intimidating, we don't all like to write poetry, but I took the liberty of writing the first line of the limerick for us. It was going to be about Jack Powers. I thought we could write him a limerick, but he's not here today. So we're still going to write it for him, but he might not ever know about it. So the first line is going to be, there was an old man we called Powers. Who wants to take a crack at the second line? You can say anything you want to.
He liked to frolic in flowers.
Okay, so
I don't know.
Let's look at this.
Or I don't.
Well, we have to check our
Yeah, we have to check our syllables.
We have to check our syllables.
There was.
And we can even do it the Old English way. So we could say,
He liked to frolic in the flowers.
Well, first of all, let's just check right here. We'll go Old English, and we're going to count the 2 syllables in light, even though typically we're going to, in contemporary poetry, we count that as really just 1 syllable.
Oh, I didn't know we were doing.
We'll say it Old English. He liked to frolic. So how many are we at there? That's 6. In flowers.
That's 9.
Perfect. We're at 9 syllables, exactly where we need to be. So now we're going to drop down into our 2 short 3 and 4 lines. Does anyone want to take a crack? is going to be two separate rhymes, okay? So it doesn't have to rhyme with powers or flowers. Andrew, you got anything? 5 to 7 syllables.
I'm racking my brain right now.
You're racking your brain? Okay. Anybody?
He loved roses and lilies. I love it. I forgot.
Roses.
That's gonna be 8.
Yeah, that's, well, you know what? We'll take some creative liberties here. He loved roses and lilies. So now we have to rhyme lilies in this.
I got some.
Okay.
That has to be 6, right?
5 to 7 syllables is typically the accepted rate.
And he liked to squeeze pennies.
But it does pennies and lilies. It's kind of a stretch. We'll do it. Okay. You like to squeeze pennies? You like to
Like
squeeze
the penny pinchers.
Yeah, yeah.
Cheap.
He is very cheap, incidentally.
He reads his book off his phone.
He liked to squeeze. Did you say squeeze?
Did you want to do
Pinch. That's
You
what,
can do pinch.
pinch is much better. You like to pinch pennies. Okay? And so now, the coup de grace, line 5, we go back to the original rhyme scheme we saw in lines 1 and 2. Powers, flowers, what? What do we got? Need one word, we can just work from that one word that rhymes with powers and flowers.
Showers.
Showers. So, it's best, since limericks are baldy, they're typically jokes, a good way to end this limerick would be to say something about how maybe Jack never showers. So, does anybody want to take a crack at a sentence there? No? Andrew?
Smells like an old fish because it never showers.
That's
That's too
long.
much.
He
Way too
smells
much.
like an old fish. You could do without showers. Okay. We'll let it run.
And he would never be seen in the showers.
Beautiful.
That's 11.
So, what we've just done is we've written a limerick that touches on all the traditional aspects. We're basically all right with our syllables. We have a kind of joking poem that begins traditionally, as limericks do, with a reference to a region or a person. There was an old man we called Powers. He liked to frolic in flowers. He loved roses and lilies. He liked to pinch pennies, and he'd never be seen in the showers. That's the beauty of the limericks. Because of the syllables, they create this rhythm that's just natural to the human tongue and natural to the human mouth. Because of that, it's easy to memorize and it's easy to write. You learned about haikus at some point in school, probably. This is the more adult version of haikus because anybody can write them if you have a little bit of free time. I wrote these 2 limericks, as you can probably tell, in about 5 minutes. So if you're ever bored in class and want to make fun of somebody, or you want to make fun of something, limericks are the best way to do it. Any questions? Excellent.